notice on the outside, here in case I get dry mouth, there's a yellow X on the other side. Your left foot will go on for the handshake. Okay, Christina will be taking.
Do we have dots, or is everybody shaking?
Everybody's shaking.
Everybody's shaking. Okay.
The only thing to be aware of might be confusing with some of the names that are transgender when they come up.
I'm not worried about that.
And then
you
the
guys
last
are the
one,
ones who know that.
The last one is going to be Sam Levesque. So this is what I'm going to be saying here. So Randy Levesque will come up and get his diploma.
That's cool. So where's the thing? Right here?
So he'll hand you the diploma. Oh, it's right here.
Yeah. My left foot.
Left foot. And she'll be right there. Initially.
Do you have any hand sanitizer?
Oh, no. Hand sanitizer?
You don't have any? I know, but if I have like a little thing up here and I do it, everybody's gonna be like,
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
At this point,
you should, if you mask up. No, there was a few in the class. Okay, let's make sure this is working. Testing.
there, you know, to tell them. Well, I saw reserved on that door and it was locked. I'm like, oh, they must have it closed. So I took my key out and I was getting ready to open it up. Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think that's what they're trying to figure out.
Yes, it does. That's what
That's why she gets just.
oh,
That's why I'm on for 4 years to make yourself distinct. And now today.
Please welcome the Lisbon Fire Department Honor Guard to present the colors. Deputy Chief Bob Robitaille, Lieutenant Alex Thurberedge, and firefighters Jim Legue and Jeremy Williams. Now please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for the national anthem sung by the Lisbon High School Chorus.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleam, whose bright stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watch were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare above our they proved through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
I would now like to invite each of the graduates to present their roses to parents and family who supported them along this journey. Good morning, and welcome to the graduation ceremony of the Lisbon High School class of 2022. My name is Reese McAtee, and as class president, I am grateful to speak on behalf of the class of 2022. We want to thank you all for coming out and supporting this class on one of their biggest life milestones. The chorus will now sing "The Road Not Taken." I would now like to welcome Amelia Mooney, Vice President, to the stage for her speech.
Thank you, Reese. Good morning, everyone. Family, friends, teachers, and soon-to-be graduates. I want to start off by saying how fortunate we are to be here today. As I'm sure all of you know, these past 4 years have been far from a normal high school experience. But we've made it through. And I am so glad that we were able to have a real graduation in person, no masks, with all of the people who have been here to support us along the way. To my teachers and coaches, thank you for motivating me to work hard and aim for my personal best in academics, sports, and my life. To my friends, I love you all so much, and I never laugh as hard as I do when I'm with you. To my parents and family, you're always my biggest supporters no matter what. Thank you for everything you have done all these years. I truly appreciate you all so much. I want to give a special congratulations to the boys baseball team for winning their MVC championship yesterday, and also the track team for their win at the state championship. And good luck to the girls softball team tomorrow at their playoff game. We started here as freshmen, young, eager, naive, nervous, and having maybe a few very wrong ideas of what high school would look like. For instance, school dances were never the best night of your life, and there wasn't actually a secret pool on the roof. We quickly learned that we were no longer the top dogs in school and accepted our fate for freshman year. And I hate to say it, but the seniors, when we came in, they were right. You blink and it's over. I didn't believe them, but it seemed like not too long ago I was telling my friends I wasn't ready for high school, but now we're here 4 years and a whole lot of memories later. Freshman year gym class with our ever-changing teachers, never actually winning winter carnival, going to and playing in sports games, and coming back after being separated by sickness and screens for so long. Honestly, despite the semester we did online, I think class of 22 had it pretty good. A lot of us have been counting down until today. We've been bogged down by senioritis, pushing through the last of classes, but having fun as seniors. Up until now, everything moved in slow motion, and graduating high school could not come fast enough. But being here today feels a little strange, almost like it shouldn't be our turn just yet. To me, it was bittersweet watching people say goodbye to teachers, participate in the senior activities, and even practice marching with some difficulty. The people that I've known for most of my life will soon be moving on to the next chapters in theirs, as will I. But that's a part of growing up. People, things, and lives are subject to change. Our perspective on life is also subject to change. One of the first things we learn in school is how to count. In kindergarten, we worked tirelessly each day to reach 10, only to discover that there are infinitely more numbers. We learned how to add 2 and 2. In middle school, we learned how to calculate the area of a circle. And then in high school, we find out there's imaginary numbers. Yeah. But all this time, the most important numbers have been narrowed down to 1, 2, 3, and 4. The past 12 years that we've been taught that 4s are what you want, 3s are what you get, 2s may need extra help, and 1s definitely need teacher support. Numbers that we once used to count became numbers with which we defined our intelligence and worth amongst each other. It seems that our value of people was determined by just 4 numbers. It's not just grades that hold this power over us. In today's world, numbers are how people measure their worth, whether it's how much money they make, how many likes they get on an Instagram post, or the size of their clothes. We let these numbers define who we are as people. According to numbers, people who make more money work harder and are happier. Those with more followers on social media have more friends and are more well-liked. and different sized clothes make you more attractive or worthy of wearing them. But by letting these numbers define us, we also let them confine us, not giving the freedom to change. A single value does not show the way you hug your best friend. It doesn't capture the way you smile and help a stranger or work hard for something you really want. This is because a number is only one moment and never tells the full story. We are worth so much more than a number, more than a standardized test score, a number on the scale, or how many followers we have on social media, because our experiences and memories do not happen in just one moment. Our memories are not meant to be counted, they're meant to be lived. So, as you sit here today waiting to receive your diploma and get out of here, I want you to take a moment to think about the memories you've made over these years in school, good and bad. The times you stayed up super late to finish assignments or failed a test you thought you did great on, when you laughed way too hard with your friends or won games with your sports teams. These things cannot be counted, nor should they be. In these moments, you were living, and they have led you to where you are today. So, soon to be graduates, I hope you find value in yourselves, the people in your life, and these little moments as you continue into your next chapter. And I wish you all the best in all of your endeavors. Congratulations, class of 2022.
Thank you, Amelia. That was really good. I would now like to invite Miss Pearson to the stage, who is our class speaker. Oh, I am so sorry. I would like to announce the chorus of the Lisbon High School to sing one more song, and it's Come Travel With Me.
Let's go wherever you are. Let's go and travel with me. Let's go wherever you are. Let's go and travel with me.
I would now like to welcome Miss Pearson to the stage. Miss Pearson has been with our class for quite a few years now as one of our math teachers in the department. She's not only a math teacher, but she has been a big supporter of many of us. Many of us have gone to her with many personal problems, issues, whatever else. And she is not afraid to tell us straight up when we're doing something wrong or if it's definitely not the right decision. And she will call us out. She's been someone who's been a big motivator for us and has showed us that she has a life even out of like her teaching and that you can make your own life your own.
Thank you. This is awesome. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Sometimes you will never know the value of a moment until it becomes a memory. How are you going to recognize a moment if you are on your phone? Do not face life from behind your phone. Be present. Show up ready. Show up like you care. Show up like this moment matters. A mere moment for you might make an important impression for someone else. So keep your phone in your pocket while you wait for your interview. Speaking of moments becoming memories, I have a moment that I would like to share with you. That moment has become a fond memory, and it was a moment that brought many years of laughter for me and my parents. I also think it helped to shape who I was to become. Many years ago, before pre-K was even a term, kids went to nursery school. I went to nursery school. One particular day, I was sent home with a note pinned to my sweater. And by sent home, I mean they would just pin notes on us, and then we'd go about our day until our parents came to pick us up. Anyway, the note read, "Laura Lee is bossy." Hard to believe, right? Here's the full story. We had just woken up from our naps, and it was time to color. Kids were grabbing crayons like hungry hippos for marbles. They began to color. And when I say color, they were just scribbling on their papers with reckless abandon. I remember looking around in sheer horror. What is happening? What are you doing? There are lines on the paper. Stay in the lines. Have you not even seen a picture? Do you not understand coloring? I looked at the teacher. She's sitting at her desk. She was probably on her phone. She was doing nothing. Wretched classroom management skills. I looked around, no one was there to help her. Someone had to stand in. It was me. So I walked around that table and I helped them. I showed them. I was patiently showing them how to color. I led by example. But no, my efforts, my leadership skills, cast aside, disregarded, bossy. That ungrateful hag accused me of being bossy. And she didn't even have the backbone to tell my parents. She just pinned a note on me, and I had to walk up to my parents so they could get that stupid note. One might think that it was this moment that sparked my interest in becoming a teacher. No, it was not that moment. That moment came years later. I was a senior in high school. I had a teacher who was a real jerk. As a teenager, I was a jerk. I was a total jerk, but this guy was an adult jerk. And as I sat there in class, disliking him and hating the stupid assignment that really didn't even matter, I realized that I, the jerk of a teenage girl that I was, I could do a better job. At the very least, I could relate to teenagers better. But what would I teach? What could I teach? What would matter? And then I started to pay attention during the rest of my classes. Not to what was being taught, mind you. I started to pay attention to the people in the room. It was like watching people at the airport, except I got to keep my shoes on. And every 40 minutes or so, I was in a different room, listening to different stuff with some different people. And it was my reaction to people in my math class that really intrigued me. How could they hate this so much? Why are they claiming it's so difficult? My word, what could be easier? It's like coloring, people. Pick up the crayons and stay in the lines. See what I did there? I circled back. Circles, geometry. Okay. You didn't ask me here to talk about math, but you did ask me to be here. And it is an honor to be here. I will admit, I walked around in a bit of a stupor for a couple of days trying to wrap my brain around the fact that you could have asked anyone to be here addressing you, yet you chose me. Me. Okay, maybe you eventually landed on choosing me, but you still chose me. I thank you, and I am honored. When I asked why me, it wasn't like I was trying to pin the task on someone else. It was because I wanted to make sure that I stepped up to the task, that I did not disappoint, that I spoke to things that resonated with this group, that I was true to who you believed me to be. When I received the email containing the whys, what I read made me cry a lot. I got stuck on how to even begin this speech, and I had asked Mrs. Fox for some advice. She told me, help them understand why you became a teacher, how you became the person you needed when you were a teenager. So I thank you, Mrs. Fox. As a kid growing up, I had a favorite adult. Parents, don't look so surprised. You can say all you want that you don't have a favorite child, but we all know you do. So guess what? Kids have a favorite adult. My favorite adult just happened to be my dad, and he will forever be my favorite adult. Whenever I would start to complain about teachers, my mother, friends, or other family members, Dad would stop me in my verbal tracks. Don't talk about other people. Yeah, but Dad, no yeah buts. You don't like how someone acted? You don't like how someone treated you? You don't like what someone did? Good. Learn how not to be. And Dad didn't say this to me just once or twice. He would say it all the time. Let's face it, I was a kid. Kids complain. Kids don't listen. Well, not right away anyway. But he said it enough that it stuck in. He said it so consistently that it became ingrained in me. So just for a moment, try to fathom the impact this could make on your life. Learn how not to be. It actually is that simple. Benefit from the angry, disagreeable, stupid, intolerant, ignorant, cold-hearted, ingracious people that you will meet in your life. Recognize all of the horse manure they bring to the table, and don't ever do that. Perhaps what we find so difficult in dealing with these icky qualities in people is that people are not always so completely icky. These people have humor, sparks of love, moments of kindness, which makes separating the good from the bad so difficult and frustrating. Your feelings will get hurt. Your hearts will get broken. But what you can do is separate the good from the bad Let them be who they are, and that will all be on them. But you be you. Take all of that ugly and make sure no one ever sees that in you. And by the way, you are amazing. And I do have a particular fondness for this class, this graduating class of 2022. Do you realize that you are the end of an era? You are the last class to have one full year of normal high school. Okay, for my advocacy, it was only half a year, but I digress. Early in 2020, we were blindsided by COVID, yet you continued to push and fight for normalcy. Going home in March seemed okay, but by September of 2020, your junior year, you were ready to get back to it, and you continued to behave like ridiculous and rebellious teenagers. Here are just some of the highlights from all of your years at Lisbon High School. When COVID first sent us home in March of 2022, you told me that there was nothing important in your locker, just a math book. That one still stings a little. In the middle of an in-person algebra class, you asked me what I liked on my toast. You told me you had things in your backpack that you didn't. When I asked you for something positive, you drew a picture of a proton. You asked to watch movies over and over again until I gave you a detention. You challenged lessons from textbooks and created your own theorems. You wrote things on my board that I could not scramble fast enough to erase, only to realize that no one else noticed what was written. And you did this over and over for 4 years. You sent me home with sticky notes on my back. You made a solitary snowflake to decorate our advocacy door. You inspired a community of knitters. And you tried to get me to adopt a pregnant cat without telling me she was pregnant. And yet here we are, finishing the year in near normalcy. You did it, and you drove us nuts. And we thank you. You are an eclectic group. You can all get along. You may not all like each other, but you certainly can come together as a group. Your senior prank proved that. You have been so much fun. So go, be brilliant, shine, make a difference, matter, be silly, get off your phones, don't be a jerk. Before Mrs. Craig calls to tell me that you are all being dismissed, I would like to remind you to embrace the negative in your lives. Trust me, it will present itself. It is the negativity that helps us appreciate the positive. Learn how not to be. Others will love you for it. You will love you for it. And once in a while, understand that on occasion, it is okay to color outside the lines.
We are now going to begin the presentation of diplomas. Please welcome Dr. Richard Green, our superintendent.
Good afternoon. On behalf of the Lisbon School Department, I'd like to welcome everyone to the Lisbon High School, home of the Greyhounds, and as of yesterday, the 2022 girls track and field state champions. I'd like to begin today by acknowledging and thanking all of the faculty and staff who, even through adversity, have been able to keep the school experience as normal as possible. Please join me in thanking these individuals for all their efforts. I'd also like to thank and recognize all the parents, family, and friends who have helped make this day possible. Over the last 2 years, you have been required to make difficult choices, and through it all, your support and guidance has helped make today possible. Don't think for a second that it hasn't gone unnoticed. There are several other people who I'd also like to personally thank, starting with Miss Amy Austin, who can coordinate a graduation like no other. Please join me in thanking her for all of her hard work and dedication to making today possible. I would also like to thank Ms. Pearson for agreeing to speak today, as you've certainly have had a positive impact on the class of 2022 and the students you have taught, mentored, and supported. I believe I went home with a note, but I think it had something to do with owing milk money. I'd also like to thank Ms. McGee, Mr. Hall, class advisor, Ms. Lisa Brown, Corbin Hall for stepping in and doing the audio, even though the system's only half working, but I'd like to thank Mr. Boley and the high school choral students for being here today, the art students for their work, and Mr. Willett and his staff for all their extra effort to make this ceremony successful. But most of all, I'd like to congratulate the Lisbon High School graduating class of 2022. There are certainly a range of emotions being experienced by everyone in this building today, and words cannot describe how proud all of us here at the Lisbon School Department are of the class of 2022. High school can be tough enough, but add a 2-year pandemic to the mix, and you simply have to shake your head in amazement, especially since we were originally told that we only had to quarantine for 2 weeks to help flatten the curve. Life is about change, and here we are, all celebrating a time in your life when you are faced with making a choice. Although many of you already have a plan and cannot wait to get across the stage so that you can begin your journey into the real world, always remember that life happens, and even the best plans don't always go as expected. I personally believe that everything happens for a reason, and if you focus more on learning from any setbacks, things will always work out for the best. I remember that the biggest question that I had for myself during my high school graduation was wondering where I was going to work, as I had no plans of going to college. After taking a year off and then deciding I wanted to be a U.S. Marshal, I continued my personal journey and was faced with many additional choices along the way. Eventually, as a result of many other choices, I ended up here on this stage wearing a doctorate robe with the responsibility of signing and awarding you your diplomas. So anything can really happen. So as I share with each graduating class, it doesn't matter what your plans are for the future. Take advantage of every opportunity that you have. Work as hard as you play. Don't sweat the little things. Always make sure that your family and health is your top priority. And the sooner that you realize that your parents are smarter than you, the better off you will be. I also hope that each of you remembers to thank the people that helped you to get here today, and that you never forget the meaning and pride behind the statement, "We are Lisbon." Congratulations again, and best of luck. It is now my great pleasure as the superintendent of schools, and through the power vested in me by the state of Maine and the Lisbon School Department, I do hereby confer upon you your high school degree with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining thereto, and will now award the diplomas to the Lisbon High School graduating class of 2022. Congratulations.
Amelia Irene Mooney. Reese Marielle McAtee. Madison Nicole Ramsey. Jennifer Jean St. Pierre. Catherine Ann Tibbetts. Alyssa Ann Frost. Sydney Nancy Poulin. Abigail Cunningham. Trinity Rose Trufant. Luis Enrique Mockler. Lily Lynn Dorisco. Taylor Emma Dunphy. Samuel Chikwakwa Lubamba. Benjamin Wyeth Schambarger. Hunter Allen Brissett. Caleb Ashton Phillips. Miguel Scott Judd. Hunter William Burkhart. Darian Stephen Davis. Sean Anthony Moore. Robert Henry Kulo. Zachary Charles Kulo. Owen James Heath. Jessica Sharon Kazanik Weil. Seth Smith. Zachary David Bisson. Stormy D. Hicks. Megan Ann Belanger. Charles Emerson Doyle. Yanaris Nicole Rodriguez. Anthony Mark Roberts. Bryson Parrott. Hunter Vincent McCausland. Bryce Daniel Mitchell. Luke Christopher Scribner. Jacob Card. Isaac Tanner Potvin. Ethan Robert Brown. Mason Lee Booker. Chance Christian Versey. Aaron Matthew Dowdy. Cody Tardif. Kyle Alton Hayden Simmons. Brianna Marie Roach. Nicholas Daniel Ferentz. Aiden Robert LaViolette. Courtney Ashlyn Decato. Isabella Jean Verrill. Evan Jacob Gagnon. Noah Eugene Graham. Lillian Barbet. Leela Marie Heath. Erica Jane Hill. Elijah Michael Fullerton. Olivia Sean Booker. Addison Rose Turcott. Annika Rose Galino. Grace Emily Braley. Ryan James LaBelle. Riley James Turner. Bradley Ray Hoskins. Skylar Xavier Zachary Giggy. Ariana Faith Jenkins. Michaela Elizabeth Joyce Wolf. Acadia Regulas. Abigail Rose Lucas. One of our graduates is unable to be here today, and his father, Randy Levesque, will accept his diploma. He's watching via live stream, and we wish you the absolute best, Sam. Samuel Michael Levesque. Now I'd like to invite the class officers up for a special presentation.
Throughout our years, we've had many people that have impacted our lives during high school. There have been a couple that we would like to mention. We would like to start off with Sue. Sue has been always there, whether it's sport games, even at graduation, even when all her kids have graduated. She comes to every game, every event that she can, and she takes pictures for all of us. She's been a big supporter of many, and we would like to welcome her today. So we would like to ask her to come up to receive a gift from the class of us. would like to mention Miss Austin. Miss Austin is our school secretary, and she has been there for all of us. Whether it's personal issues or whatever's going on in school, she will always hear us out. And she will never be afraid to tell us to suck it up and just get on with our day. Miss Austin, we would like to thank you for being one of our biggest supporters and definitely getting us through the marching practices because they were rough. So thank you, and we appreciate you. We would also like to bring into special mention Miss Sarah Brown. She has also been one of our biggest supporters. She has led us through many of our life personal issues, and I don't know if she's here today, but we would like to also ask her if she was to come up to receive a gift from us. So I guess a hand for her. And next is Miss Pearson. Of course, I have already mentioned Miss Pearson and how great she has been to our class. You are very special to us, and we will always cherish everything you've taught us. And lastly, but certainly not least, is Miss Lisa Brown. She has taken on this class, and it has been a lot. We have gone through 4 years together of her being our class advisor, and she has led us through and dragged us through the extremes of COVID and everything else. She has got us to this moment, and we are very grateful to have her as a class advisor. Not only did we fundraise enough to do all of our events and to be able to give back to the school as well when we leave, she's just provided much for us. So we would like to give you a big thank you. Before I begin, I just want to thank everyone for coming out today and supporting the Lisbon High School graduating class of 2022. Additionally, I want to thank the teachers, administrators, coaches, and all those who watched over our educational progression over the years. Without all of you, we would not be in our caps and gowns today. So thank you. I would also like to thank my mom for listening to me practice the speech hundreds of times until the point where she could probably recite it herself. Mom, I appreciate you, and I love you. Lastly, I want to thank Tanya Ames. She is someone who has incredible strength and the speech is dedicated to her and to Andre's Army. Okay. This speech was something I had thought about for a long time. Since last summer and perhaps before that. Thinking about the perfect speech and whether I would take the cliche route of discussing our journey over the last 13 to 14 years and how each moment has led up to this one, or how I grew from explicitly reading only street signs one elementary summer
to speaking at graduation today. Mem and Tinda, you'll appreciate that one. Or whether I would risk trying to make even the slightest impact on you all. So here it goes, my leap of faith. While all the memories and instances in the past 13 years brought us to these seats today, the most mentionable, of course, has to be sophomore year up to this moment. The talk of COVID has run through our lives for well over 2 years now. And while it physically impacted the world, it impacted the mental health more than I can even say. In March of sophomore year, our world changed. Yes, we went through a pandemic, but the solitude was the first time I was hit with a reality. Mental health is important, and there is a stigma that needs to be broken. Being isolated and pulled away from every aspect of life, whether it was friends, family, sports, school, and even just going to a store, made us all question our purpose. Where the ideas of spreading rumors, the newest relationship drama, and whatever else seemed insignificant. Returning to our lives felt like a gift. And whether you choose to make a change in your life, or whether you live the same one as before, the bigger picture was truly brought into perspective, because the unpredictability of life is something that one must embrace rather than loathe in and seek pity. The lockdown brought some perspective, but it hit me even harder a year ago. When my teammate from my cheer team, Andre James Schaefer, took his own life. Andre was supposed to be graduating this year from Dover High School, but here I am today telling his story. The loss of this soul, who was driven, passionate, and who always wore a smile, didn't make sense. But internally, he was struggling. He was the light in many people's lives, and he inspired so many athletes. And now he continues to inspire us as we tell his story everywhere we go. Andre was someone who was always in the gym, even when he wasn't supposed to be. His constant drive to better himself was truly remarkable. I remember standing backstage in Florida at our final cheer competition in May 2021. We were on next, and we were all taking the moment. And I looked over to see this seemingly very confident athlete a little shaken. He was kind of talking to himself, running through the routine. And I went over to him, and I told him to not be nervous. And most importantly, I said, "Don't suck." He laughed, of course, and he said, "Don't worry, I won't." In fact, he didn't suck, and we did win. And we couldn't have done it without him. And this is just one of my favorite memories. And I even thought Andre was an incredibly happy person. Someone who had all the skills and talent to achieve any dream he desired. Not a lot of us knew how hard he was on himself. His high expectations for himself took a toll. For most of the time being in school, I had thought I had had my whole life planned out. I stressed about all that I had to complete, and the overwhelming pressure seemed never ending. But I put on a brave face, and I never let up. When we lost Andre, all the tedious things, the stress, and the constant pressures at hand while being in high school just seemed a little smaller. And the idea of life became more precious. Bringing all of this into light and discussing these more difficult topics is important because we are facing life now, real life. Mental health is important. Andre put on a brave face around others, and he was never able to get the real help he needed because of the stigma that is held. He mattered, and so do all of us. There is a quote from Ken Robinson where he states, "Life is not linear, it is organic. We create our lives symbiotically as we explore our talents in relation to the circumstances that they create for us. There will always be difficult times when we feel as though the world is against us. But the trials and tribulations we experience make the good times feel even better. There should never be shame in letting up just a bit. Not being scared to fail. Not being scared of going after something that others don't support. Not being scared of opening up about your own mental health. And not
and to not be scared of being your own advocate. Do not let life take control over you. Instead, take control of your own life. This is a time where we stand up and choose our path, the one that satisfies us and has no intention of pleasing those around us, a path that brings our best self. To embrace the journey to the goal and remember the importance of your physical and mental well-being. This is one of the many milestones in your life, so enjoy it, because as my cap says, life is too precious to waste. So take in this moment, because you all deserve to. Congratulations to the class of 2022. I would now like to welcome Mr. Hall to the stage for closing remarks.
Each year when I give this, I always feel like the warm-up band after U2's just performed. So great speeches by everybody. I'm going to try to keep this short. Before I begin, I want to thank all my student athletes, my teams, coaches for a great season, from state champs to deep playoff runs, MVC champs, individual champs. Yesterday was one of the few days that an athletic director gets where he has a baseball team win the MVC and a girls track team that repeats as state champs. So it was a great day. I thank you all. And as I always say, I just got to make sure the buses get there on time. Congratulations, class of 2022. You made it as Lisbon High School graduates. You have heard a lot of great speeches today, each one of them with words of wisdom, advice, or any other piece of information to help you go onto your next journey. I know you've just received your diplomas and are ready to turn the tassels and walk out of here as high school graduates. And the last thing you want to do is listen to another speech. Well, I'm not going to keep you long with a long-winded speech, as I believe that brevity is best in a situation like this. So here are a few things that I will offer you. Maybe they are pieces of advice, wisdom, or something else to help you with before you exit today. Do not stop learning regardless of your path. You have been given tools to start out, but you still have a lot to learn as you go on your journey. Mistakes, wrong turns, and failed attempts are almost more likely to happen than you would like them to. But do not let those become the reason or reasons to stop in your pursuit of dreams or goals in your life. Always be curious, even if you do understand something. Be humble in situations when it calls for it, as well as be confident in situations when needed. Be a leader. Ask questions when you do not know the answer or when you aren't certain, especially in situations that you've never been in before. Expand your circle of friends while keeping those lifelong friends still close. Let your strengths shine in life and work to improve on those things that you aren't strong in as of yet. Smile, laugh, have fun, and find the enjoyment of life. And the last piece of information for you to take, always be proud of where you came from and who raised you. These things I mentioned are things you'll hear over the course of time, and at some point, you'll be sharing those with your children. The one thing that I will leave you with today that is true is that you are graduates of Lisbon High School. May you enjoy this day, remember, and thank those who have helped you get here today. Congratulations, class of 2022.